In previous section, you saw that I created the eBGP and IBGP connections between different ASs. I needed to have eBGP, and in some AS, in a specific AS, I have IBGP connection. And you know that the default behavior is to set the TTL to 1 for eBGP connection and set the TTL to 255 for IBGP connection. Of course, internal BGP connection. So the only line that I needed to add for the neighborship between router 1 and backbone 1 was the eBGP multi-hop. And you know that eBGP multi-hop sets the TTL to 255, and of course I can have a number after eBGP multi-hop, and I need, for example, 3 or 4 for this. But if I'm really in need of setting the eBGP multi-hop, that means that I have some security issues here, so I will go for some other line of command, and I will show you in a minute that. So let's go to router 1 and check the BGP connections. Show BGP summary. Of course, that's going to be a show IP BGP summary. You can see that I have neighborship created between different routers. Now I want to use another concept. You can see that I have used the physical interfaces to create the eBGP connection adjacencies. But now I want to use another approach. If this physical interface fails, my BGP session will fail too. But I want to have redundancy. Instead of using a physical interface, I can select the loopback interface, for example, and create the neighborship between these two routers using the loopback interfaces. And this guarantees several paths to reach each other. For example, if I want to create neighborship between router 1 and router 3, I can use loopback interfaces between these two, and this is 1 and this is 2 loopback interfaces. And I'm sure that it can go this way to create the neighborship, and of course I need to have eBGP multi-hop more than 1. It can go directly this way, or it can even go through router 2 and go to router 3 and create the adjacency. So if one of these links fails, the other two are still there, so I can have my adjacency up and running. But remember one thing, loopback interface is one hop away from the physical interface. So my loopback interface is one hop away from fast 00, one hop away from fast 01, or one hop away from serial interface. So even if two neighbors are connected together using a single link, I still need to have eBGP multi-hop to be set at least to 2. Okay, now I'm not going to use again any value, because as I told you, if I am in need of setting a BGP multi-hop, I prefer to use another option. So I go to router 1 and go to configuration, router BGP1, and here I assign a neighbor, and instead of using the physical interface, I assign the IP address of its loopback interface, and you know that it is 110.133, and the remote AS is 36. So I hit enter, and again I need to have eBGP multi-hop for this. That's it. I need to go and have the same configuration on router 3, enable configure terminal, router BGP 36, neighbor 110.111. It is in remote AS 1, and I need to have eBGP multi-hop. Okay, now just make sure that these two addresses are reachable. So if my ping to 110.111 using a source of loopback 0 is not successful, you know that this is not going to work, and you can see that this is not successful. I can have simple ping, but I am sourcing my TCP connection from my loopback 0 interface. So first of all, I need to make sure that these two can reach each other. So let's see the problem. This means that one of these two are not in my routing table, or they are not adjacent using the normal way. You can see that I should go to routing table first. Show IP route 110.1.1.1. You can see that this is in my routing table and it is using fast Ethernet 00 to reach to this interface. Let's go to router 1 and check the other things. Show IP route 110.1.3.3. You can see that this is not in my table. So I need to check router 3 and see if this is advertised using my routing protocol. Show IP protocol tells me that I am using EIGRP and I am advertising this actually. You can see that this is in my advertisement. And just to make sure, I check the running config section router EIGRP, and now I can see that this is not actually being advertised. So I need to advertise this. It is there because I have neighbor. Now this is not my routing, so I need to go and assign the network 110.133.0.0.0.0, and after a while I can have the ping done. So this is the ping that I'm sending. You can see that now the ping is successful, and because the ping is successful, after a while I should see the adjacency between router 1 and router 3. Before coming up, let me check one piece of command. Show IP BGP summary, and I can see that this connection is still active. Of course, it has never been established, but it is active and trying to get established. And after a while, I should see it coming up. It is not working. Let me check one piece of command here. Show IP BGP neighbor will tell me about 110.1.1.1. And now here you can see that it is using BGP version 4. The remote router ID is not yet determined because I don't have the connection established here, and you can see that it is actively trying to create the session. It is sending keep alive in every 60 seconds. And let me check the TCP connection characteristics because I need a TCP connection between router 1 and router 3 to create the BGP. Now if I go down, you can see that it tells me no active TCP connection is here. And of course I have changed the eBGP multi-hop, and now it is accepting an eBGP multi-hop of 255 hops. So what is the problem? You can see that there is no connection established here, and I have still trying to create the neighborship. Let me check the running configuration and check the BGP configuration on those routers. Show run section router BGP tells me that I have selected 110.1.1.1 that is in remote AS1, and I have selected it. eBGP multi-hop is 255 as I told you. It is the default. And now you see that I have connectivity between these two interfaces. And of course, yes, I have forgotten one piece of command here. Because I am sourcing my TCP connection from my loopback interface, I need to specify it in my configuration. So I will tell neighbor 110.133 is using neighbor router BGP 36 neighbor 110.1.1.1 is using this is it. Let me find it. Update source. That's it. Is using the update source of loopback 0. Actually, it tells me that I am using my loopback 0 to send my request for creation of adjacencies. So I need to assign this rather BGP, of course. Sorry for the inconvenience. The update source is loopback 0. Oh my god. Neighbor 110.111 update source is loopback 0. And again, oh my god, root router BGP 36. That's it. I need to go to router 1 and tell neighbor 110.133 I am using my loopback 0 as my update source, and of course you can see that it has already created the neighborship without assigning this command in the other side. But now I have neighborship, so let me check the router configuration again. Show run section router BGP, and I can see that for creating this neighborship I need to have 3 different commands. The first command assigns the remote AS, the second command assigns the eBGP multi-hop, and the third command is specifying the update source, that is loopback 0 interface. And now I have redundancy, and if I go and, for example, shut down one of these links, you can see that my adjacency is not going to be turned down. So it is working, and it is very nicely created. In the next section I want to show you how you can authenticate between these routers.